Hello guys and welcome to a new reading vlog. So I am partaking in Summerween by Gabby Reads. So I will link her video down below and I will let you know what the prompts are and what I have chosen for said prompts. So the first prompt is read a book at nighttime. So because I would have to be on my Kobo to do that, I am choosing the book of Silver and Sin by Caitlin Platt. This is an arc from NetGalley. And basically you've got this woman who is tasked with killing monsters, but must form a reluctant alliance with one of these said monsters in order to fight off a greater evil. This particular saucy, sexy cad of a monster feeds off pleasure and pain, and she must end up being his source of nourishment on their journey together. So this is supposed to be a dark romantasy with a lot of spice, so we will see if that delivers. The next prompt is read a thriller or horror novel, and I have chosen Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. So this is about a woman whose father was a serial killer and she must return to the home because her mother is dying. So this cover is just gorgeous. This is what made me pick it up, like beautiful, stunning cover. So that's my choice for that prompt. The next prompt is read a book with the night sky in it. So I have chosen The Blue Book of Nebo. I saw this on Books and Lala. It's got a night sky. It was available at the library. So as soon as I saw that it fit that prompt, I'm like, yes, that is what we are doing. I don't remember what it's about, but we'll talk about that when it comes time to reading it. But that was my choice for that prompt. Then we have a book with 5 words or more in the title. So I chose Bride of the Fae Prince. I just wanted to add a bit of something else genre-wise into the mix, and that is a 5-word book. And the final prompt is a book that has summer in the title. I found this graphic novel available at my library. It's got summer in the title. I think it's set in summer, so that also fulfills the prompt, and those are my choices for this reading vlog. So I will come back and talk to you about them once I've read them. I'm coming to you from this position because this is happening. Hello. Okay, so I'm back. Didn't get to go to a cafe today because I had to refilm everything, but did do some other things, and Indy wanted a treat. So she wanted one of these guys, and these were on clearance. So I just got the whole box. And in it, we got a pancake cat, which is probably my favorite one. And we got this strawberry cake one. And then we got a macaroon kitty and a cinnamon roll kitty. What's its name, honey? Do you know?
It's another mini wafer.
Okay guys, so Summerween. I will tell you all the books I've read thus far. I've finished almost all of them except for one. So we'll start with Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. So I ended up giving this a 3 stars, and basically you've got serial killer dads, mean mums, and creepy houses. The word grease was used so much in this that I don't think I could hear it again. And it's a bit of a touchy word for me because as a wog growing up, I got called greasy wog a lot. So I don't like the word grease and greasy anyway, but in this book it was just overused. The best thing about this book is definitely the cover. I think the cover is stunning. Kudos to whoever designed it. But for me, I don't know, this was just okay. I felt like it could definitely have been edited down. There was obviously a horror element. You've got a serial killer. I'm not big on serial killer stuff unless, like I said, there's other devices in the book that I think are fantastic, like the language used, the writing style, the characters. So this is dad's a serial killer and mum's weird, and it went also in a paranormal direction. So it's not just straight fiction. There is a fantastical element in there, and I don't know. I'm like, I felt like it was out of place with the book. I was expecting just straight up issues with having a serial killer as a father and the things that come to light about the main character and how that's affected her psychologically. But then it added in like the sort of monstrous element, and I felt like, oh, I don't know, that's just made it feel weird. So I gave it 3 stars. But once again, horror is not my genre, so I don't really know what's good, guys. This could be fantastic, but for me it was a 3-star read. And then there was Of Silver and Sin by Caitlin Plat, which was an arc from NetGalley. I gave this 4 stars. Dark romantasy. I liked the world building. It did end up focusing a lot more on the romance though. Like, this is a spicy book. They get to banging very quickly, which is not my normal. I don't really like that. I like the slow burn. In this, I just went along with it. You know, I just accepted it for what it was. Surprisingly though, I felt like the sex scenes could have been more descriptive. I actually wanted them to be a bit more saucier. They were very fast and over with quickly. So that was actually a letdown. But I do like the characters in it, especially Rain. Rain is my favorite. It is very interesting sort of world building. Like I said, there's gods and monsters involved, and I was fascinated by that. It's definitely polyamorous. And in this case, I don't know, I wasn't that into it. So I don't think I'm going to be continuing the series. It is a 4-star read for me though. Like, I did have a fun time with it. And then I read The Blue Book of Nebo by Manon Stephen Ross. I love this. This is a 5-star read for me. This is absolutely beautiful. So it's set in a post-apocalyptic world where a mother and son surviving in the Welsh countryside. They barely see any other human beings. There's so little and yet so much going on, and it made me cry. It made me cry, especially to do with the mother-child dynamics and relationships. Books like this too, though, do trigger my anxiety. I think if I had the funds and the means, I would be a doomsday prepper. I would totally build an underground bunk and have it all set up to live.
The world will end next week! Spend your children's college fund! Thaw that turkey now!
Because that is always in the back of my head, that could happen in my lifetime. I'm praying to God it doesn't. I wouldn't be prepared for that now. And I think in that situation, I would be one of those people that would just be like, I'm going to peace out. I'm just going to find a gun and just exit my human body and this world. I don't think I would want to live in a way that it was an absolute fight of survival every single day. This book is not heavily like that though. They do find a great way to live, so there's no threat of being raped on the daily and all that sort of thing, but it just did have my mind thinking about all of the post-apocalyptic scenarios and what would I do and what would that be like and should I be prepping now. So it did, yeah, it stressed me out a little bit, but the book itself is beautiful. It's lovely, it's well written, so it's translated from Welsh. There are still some Welsh words threaded in there, but I just thought it was well done. I love things that take a different kind of spin on the genre. So it's not your usual post-apocalyptic dystopian novel. You know, it's got more of a quiet emotional depth to it. And I just thought it was fantastic. So I'm really, really happy I saw that on Books and Lala's channel. Otherwise, I don't think I ever would have come across this. And then I picked up Bride of the Fae Prince by Anastasis Blythe. So in this one, you have a very mousy, shy, timid princess who is forced to marry a Fae prince for the good of her kingdom. Immediately you were told over and over and over again, this bitch ugly, son.
She ugly, U-G-L-Y, she ain't got no alibi, she ugly.
Constantly, how ugly she is. She's so fugly that to wed her off to this Fae prince, the king makes every single woman in the land wear a veil so that he can't compare her looks to the others, because then he would see how hideous and grotesque she is. Why you got to go around calling people ugly when clearly she's not? She also has a stutter and excessively sweaty hands, which I know is a medical condition. And it's just, I don't know, I felt very uncomfy about the way they were utilizing these things in this, because it just felt like it was trying to add to the point that she's so undesirable. And I'm like, yuck. But on top of that, yeah, she's a doe-eyed people pleaser. She's just trying to make everybody happy. And the Fae Prince starts off lovely and then does a complete 180 when they're at the court. And the whiplash with these two and their characterizations is intense and it doesn't feel authentic. I know there are two-faced people out there. Maybe there are people that can just shift their personality on a dime, but in a book, I don't enjoy it. And the MMC had a thing of where he would constantly threaten to kiss her, like, tell me something about this or I'll kiss you. Do this or I'll kiss you. And I can see that was probably trying to come off as like cute and flirty, but just felt low-key threatening. And once again, the ick was there, and I knew, I gave this 200 pages, so this is my first DNF of this month, but I knew that I wasn't going to like this book. So I didn't want to push through, because I did push through some other books this month. If you've seen, like, that, I've been giving out some like 2 stars and stuff, and I hate that. But with those books, I thought maybe the ending could swing me enough to give it a 3.5 or up, whereas this, I knew there was nothing that this book could do. that's going to make me give it more than 3.5 stars. It's just not going to happen. I don't like it. So I did DNF that one. So the final book that I have to read is this one, Summer. So I've got to go and get that from the library and pick it up. But once I've read it, I will give you my review, and that will wrap up this Summerween vlog. Dating wise, I'm not going out with the Disney princess lady. It's been chatting for over a week and there was just very little communication and conversation being had, and I've decided that I'm just going to put my attention and energy where I'm getting it reciprocated equally. So I'm not going out with her. I've started chatting to some other people because I would like to go on one date this month. We'll see if anything eventuates. We'll see what happens. Besides that, my dad and my brother are here painting my walls, so that's exciting. I'll have to show before and afters, but yes, I'll see you guys back when I have read the final book for this vlog. Okay, so I finished reading This One Summer by Juliana Tamaki and Mariko Tamaki. So I will show you the illustration style. I do like the illustrations, but I don't love that it is all in a dark blue, monotonous color, monotone color tone. I would have loved some kind of color in there, but the illustrations are lovely. This is a story about two girls over the summer. So there was a lot of, I don't know, like crass teenage talk about blowjobs and boobs and sluts and herpes, and then there was a bit of thing about the mother having a miscarriage was in there. So that was a more, I guess, adult story in the book. But there's no like plot. It's just two teen girls over the summer having stupid conversations with other dumb teenagers. Maybe because I'm an adult, this didn't appeal to me, but also I didn't talk like this with my friends. Yes, we're nerds and we read a lot, so maybe our conversations were a bit different, but I couldn't even resonate to how the teens spoke and what they talked about in this. And I just found it a bit gross to read about. It wasn't really for me, so I didn't like it. If I was reading this, I'd give it 1.5 stars. It did nothing for me. Like, the best part about it is just the pictures are pretty, but yeah, the story, no, the characters, no, and the writing, yeah. So that was not to my taste, but it did fulfill the prompt for summer. So let me just go through all the books that I read for this Summerween vlog. So we had Just Like Home, which was about a daughter coming back to the house where her father used to massacre his victims. He was a serial killer, and having sort of to deal with the bloody history, so to speak. I gave that a 3 stars. Of Silver and Sin, which I gave 4 stars. This was a romantasy, dark romantasy about a woman who teams up with a monster that she's meant to slay and has to feed him through her desires and pleasure, and sort of uncovering and there was also a lot of religious overtones in there, even though the gods were not the Christian theistic gods. It was interesting how that played out. So there was some intrigue, some plot twists in that book. A lot of sex, not the best sex I've read. But yeah, it's a fun, frisky time, I guess. I wouldn't say fun either. It's quite dark. It's a dark... I'm sorry, guys. I had a bit of an emotional few days, and I haven't really recovered, so I really apologize. And then I read The Blue Book of Nebo, which was 5 stars for me. I loved this. So post-apocalyptic, mother and son in the Welsh countryside, their way of life after everyone in the world has just gone, basically quiet but moving, emotionally resonating. It made me feel some things. I enjoyed it. Then we have Bride of the Fae Prince, which is a fantasy about a very meek and mild, ugly woman who is marrying a hot Fae prince, but is sort of being used by him. But they fall for each other, and I didn't like this one either. I DNF'd. It's my first DNF of the month, but I knew I wasn't going to like it. And maybe I should have been DNF'd the last read, which was This One Summer, but because it's a graphic novel, it's just so short, like, you're just going to push through, you never know. But this one also wasn't for me, and I've given it 1.5 stars. So the absolute standout of this vlog was The Blue Book of Nebo, which was 5 stars and amazing. The wall is still grey, so it did need a prime coat. The blue came through, unfortunately, so my dad's going to have to come back. I'm going to get a different paint as well, one that's got more yellows in it, to also hopefully counteract the blue. Is that how it works? And I'm going to end up with a green wall. I don't know. But I'm going to go get more paint, and he's got to prime my bedroom wall too before we paint it, since this is also blue. So hopefully you'll see the afters in the next vlog. But until next time, stay wild, star child.